This is going to be a quick video, but it's an important one because I'm going to show you guys where everything is in the interface of Beaver Builder. So first, let's launch Beaver Builder to get into the settings in the interface. To do that, in the admin menu up the top, let's click on Page Builder. Now we're in the Beaver Builder editing mode, and we can tell that because there's a top bar up the top and there's a sidebar which has all our modules. Now, if you don't see the sidebar, you'll see an Add Content button up the top here. If you click on that, it will slide out the sidebar here, and this allows you to add your rows. So you could drag in a row with 2 columns, 3 columns, 4 columns, up to 6 columns. It also allows you to add your modules into your columns. So you could click, and then you click and hold and drag it over. And that's one thing I want to point out in this video. This is an accordion. So when you click on it, it expands down to show the options underneath. So these are all the row layouts. But if you click it again, it hides. And that's the same for all of these. Basic modules, click, it shows and hides. Advanced modules, it shows and hides. Now only one of these can be open at any given time. So if we open the advanced modules and then we click on the basic modules, the advanced modules is going to shut and then the basic modules is going to open. So next thing I want to show you guys while we're here is what happens when we add a row into the page. So let's click on row layouts and let's drag a 2-column row into our page. So notice how when I click the sidebar, it automatically slides out and disappears. And as we drag it across, the blue box indicates where we're about to drop our new row with our 2 columns. So I'm just going to release this. And as you can see, there's our new row with our new 2 columns. And what you'll also notice is that in the process, our row layouts has automatically collapsed and then our basic modules has expanded. And that's because generally after you add rows into your page, the next thing you're going to want to do is add modules into those columns, and this automatically sliding open just saves you having to click to expand it and see the modules that are available. So one of the reasons of this video is to show you these nice little subtle things that Beaver Builder does to save you clicks and make your editing process even faster. Okay, now the next thing I want to point out is the top bar at the top here contains 4 buttons. So the first one is your template. So if we click on that, so it will load a modal, and I'm going to do a separate lesson on how to use these. But if we click on one of these and we can do replace existing layout, which removes the existing layout we have here and replaces it with the template I just clicked. Or we can click append new layout. So this is a layout that we currently have. And if I click append new layout, then it's going to add the one that I just clicked to the bottom. So I'll just cancel out of that because again, we will go over that in a separate video. Okay, moving along to the right, so tools. So this opens up another modal. And again, every time that you click on something in Beaver Builder, the settings are usually accessed through a modal, so a pop-up. And in that pop-up, you have different buttons and different settings and fields that are related to that area of the Beaver Builder interface that you've just entered. So save templates. So we could save this page design and then insert it into other pages, which will be covered in a later lesson. We could duplicate the layout, which would take this whole page and duplicate the page. So a whole separate page would be created in our dashboard, and this template that we currently have here would be inserted. So it's cloning this page. Layout, CSS, and JavaScript, let's click into that. So you get a text editor to add your CSS and a JavaScript editor to add your JavaScript. So there'll be more on this in a separate lesson. So let's go back. Global settings. This contains some really useful settings like row margins, the maximum width. There's a lot in here, and these are going to be covered in their own lesson because there is a lot to go through, and it's important to set a lot of these things before you do start designing and building your pages. So this will be covered in one of the next videos. I just want to point out there's tabs up the top here. So a lot of the time that you do launch a settings page in Beaver Builder, there will be tabs up the top, and as you toggle between here, you'll get different settings. So the general tab shows a couple of drop downs, some text fields. The CSS has a text editor. But that's the general gist. When you click on something in Beaver Builder, it opens up a pop-up, and under each tab are multiple settings that you can set for that part of the screen that you're in. So let's cancel out of that, and we'll keep moving along. So done. So if we click on this blue done button, again, it opens up a pop-up and gives us some settings. So the first one is publish changes. So if you've just built your page and you're happy with the changes and you want to show and push these live to your customers and your users on your website, you push this publish changes button and they get put on your website straight away and people can see them live. Now just say you've made some changes, so maybe you had an existing homepage and you were just going to add some testimonials down the bottom and you're waiting for someone to supply that last testimonial. You could go ahead and design that area, and while you're waiting on that other testimonial, you could click Save Changes and Exit, and that new testimonial section that you've just designed will not be shown live to your customers and visitors, but it'll be saved, so it's like a revision. So tomorrow when that person does send you that testimonial, you could come back onto this page, you could launch Beaver Builder, and then that testimonial strip would stay there, and then you can add that new testimonial, click Save, and then click Done, and then Publish Changes, and that new testimonial strip would be pushed live onto your website. So this is a great setting for when you don't completely finish making a change to your website and you don't want to put it live for people to see, but you want to keep it so you can come back to it and continue editing at a later time. Next is Discard Changes and Exit. Now this is the closest thing that Beaver Builder currently has to an undo button. Now they are looking to introduce an undo button in future versions of Beaver Builder, but for now, this is as good as we're going to get. And the way that this button works is, just say we had this page and it was previously built with Beaver Builder, maybe a couple of months ago, and we've been looking at it over the last few months and we've decided, you know what, I want to change the color of the buttons on this page. So we go through and we change 10 different buttons and maybe some text here and there. And then we sort of decide and we look at it before we publish it and we go, you know what, the page was actually better before we made these changes today. So what we can do is we could come into here and click on the Done button and then click Discard Changes and Exit. And what this does is any changes that we've just made after launching Beaver Builder, so for this session of editing, are discarded, so they're unsaved, and it reverts back to how it was before we made these changes. So let's just click Cancel. So next is the help icon. If we click on that, it opens up a pop-up and we can take a tour, which is going to show us how the interface works. We could watch a video which shows us how to use Beaver Builder. We could view the knowledge base, which is going to open up the knowledge base on the Beaver Builder website. Or we could contact support, which is going to take us to where we can lodge a support ticket with Beaver Builder. So let's cancel that. So that wraps up this lesson. I know there's a lot of things that I said will be covered in later lessons, but that is for good reason, and it's because I want to go in depth, be comprehensive, and make sure that you understand these powerful concepts and these settings. Hopefully this video has shown you exactly where everything is, given you an idea of the sort of things that we'll be talking about in later lessons. So let's stop this video here and let's go on to the next lesson.